Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. I am Nuta, a civil engineer from Zambia. In this video today, I am going to tell you about the different types of foundations that we have and when they can be used. A building has two main components, that's the foundation or substructure and superstructure. As I already mentioned in this video, I want to share with you the types of foundations that we have. I already mentioned that we have two broad classifications of foundations, mainly deep foundations and shallow foundations. So just to define what a foundation is, a foundation is the lower part of a building which withstands the weight of the entire building and transmits it to the ground. I'm sure we are all aware of this. We know what I'm talking about. Deep foundations. As the name suggests, this involves deep excavations or drilling. We have three main types, namely piles, piers, and caisson or wells or caisson. This type of foundation is suitable in homogeneous and weak soils. By homogeneous soil, I mean the type of soil that has the same particle size. When you have the same particle size in soils, it means the air spaces that remain in the soil cannot easily be filled, which renders the soil weak. So we use this type of foundation for weak soils or homogeneous soils because it is a well-known fact that the strength and stiffness of homogeneous soil increases with depth. Remember, we want our foundation to be so suitable, that's why we are looking for a stable strata on which to lay our foundation. Let's look at the pile foundation, which is one type of a deep foundation. It is as shown in the picture. This is usually a long column made of either timber or steel or concrete and used in compressible soils like clay, in waterlogged areas or artificial ground. It is suitable for artificial ground because artificial ground is easily compressed. This type of deep foundation is suitable for suspended structures like bridges. Most of you have noticed this about bridges. A good example is the Barotse floodplains bridge that we have in Western Province. Piles foundations are in different types and are classified according to functions or materials used. Because we have so many types of piles foundations, I am going to make a video specifically for this type of deep foundation. The second type of deep foundation is the pier foundation, as shown in the picture, suitable for construction in areas where traditional foundations are not ideal, such as those near oceans and where we have too many roots from trees. It is suitable for these types of areas I have just mentioned because the pier foundation raises the building to prevent flooding. The pier foundation is usually cheaper than piles because they may not be as long as the piles columns, as shown in the picture. This type of foundation consists mainly of large cylindrical columns to support the structure. The third type of deep foundation is the caisson or well foundation or caisson if you like. This is a watertight structure that is either round or rectangular, constructed as foundation for bridges or structures in water as shown in the picture. If you look at the picture, the foundation is that concrete stuff inside and the outer layer That thing which looks wooden is a temporary structure constructed to exclude water from the area where the foundation is being constructed. And this structure, which prevents water from seeping through the construction area, is called a coffer. Let's talk about shallow foundations. As the name suggests, these are not as deep. They have depths equal or less than their width. Most shallow foundations are suitable for stable ground. We have several types of shallow foundations, which include strip footing, raft foundation, combined foundation, stepped footing for columns, sloped footing for columns, strap footing, spread or pad foundations. The strip footing, a type of shallow foundation as shown in the picture, is the most common type of foundation for simple structures like one-story houses. This foundation type is very common, and I'm very sure most of you have come across this type of foundation. We have the raft foundation, suitable for unstable ground. This foundation is heavily reinforced with steel bars as shown in the picture. Remember, I already mentioned that we reinforce concrete to make it stronger because concrete on its own cannot withstand certain types of forces. If you want an explanation in detail, please go back to my previous videos and get the meaning of reinforcement. It is a continuous reinforced concrete slab, also known as mud foundation, and obviously just from the picture, you can tell that this type of foundation is quite expensive. I mean, you have to use a lot of steel. It's more expensive than several other types of foundations like the strip foundation, the combined foundation. With its general shape, either rectangular or trapezoidal, the combined foundation is usually constructed for two columns that are close to each other. Now, most of you know that we usually construct columns, especially if we are going to build a structure that is going to have a heavy weight, for example, multi-story buildings. A rectangular combined foundation provides a lower center of gravity, thereby making it suitable for columns that are loaded equally or whose center is heavily loaded. Now, to get the definition of the center of gravity or to understand what it is, please go to the video in which I spoke of the condominium in Florida that just collapsed. Then we have the spread or pad foundation, which is also one of the most common shallow foundations used, especially in multi-story buildings. The pad foundation is a spread type of foundation because it spreads out the weight of the structure over a large area. As you can see, we have a not so big column sitting on a very large base. It is suitable on stable ground. I mentioned most shallow foundations are suitable for stable ground. The pad foundation, like the piles, comes in different types such as sloped footing for column, which I already mentioned, stepped footing, or single footing as the picture shows. This type of foundation in the picture showing right now is a single footing for a column pad foundation. Now let's look at the other types of pad foundation. So we have the stepped foundation, which is also a pad type of foundation used where the natural ground is sloped in order to minimize the amount of excavation Now you know when building we use the dumpy level or spirit level in order to achieve a leveled building. So instead of you making deep excavations in certain areas because of the slope of the natural ground, you can just resort to using the stepped footing type of foundation. So you can actually step even the strip foundation, and I'm sure most of you have seen this type of foundation where you use the strip footing type of foundation which I mentioned earlier, but you step it because the natural ground has a slope. Then you also have the sloped footing for a column, which is also a type of pad foundation as already mentioned earlier. Another type of shallow foundation is the strap footing, which is similar to the combined foundation I spoke of earlier. The difference is that the combined type of foundation is suitable when columns are close to each other, but for the strap footing type of foundation, it is suitable when columns are further apart. This is so because, as you saw in the combined type of foundation, you get to use a lot of concrete when the columns are close together. Now you can imagine when columns are further apart and covering the entire area with a very thick concrete. That's going to be expensive. So this type of foundation is connected by beams as shown to distribute the load from the building. It is commonly used for simple multi-story buildings on weak soils. We have come to the end of this video. Please follow the Lady Engineer on Facebook. We heard that Facebook has changed the name to Meta. It is going to be really hard to adapt. Anyway, follow the Lady Engineer on Meta or Facebook. For more information, I do upload daily articles there. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.